Is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders. Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. The Bulls are on a rampage today. The CPI came in. We'll have all the details of that, what it probably means for the market, and how to kind of be looking out for the next couple weeks. That is some big information that we got, but we got some bigger news than that. We got some bigger news than CPI. We got the A team in the house. We got Alex. Good morning. Bill, Brian, Christopher, Eric. We got Eric Prawl. Good morning. Fayaz. Wendy is in the house. Good morning. Gerline. We got Jay, Jill, JT, Juan Pablo, Lauren. Mark is in the house. Martina, Rock, Ron, Win, Wale. Good morning to Yavaris. All my peeps in YouTube land. We got Ola. Let's go with Ola. Nah, I don't know if I said that right, but I hope so. Either way, I love you. Either way, Daniel, good morning. Richard, Jack, good morning. We got Chrissy in the house. All my people in YouTube land, not commenting, just lurking in the background. It's all good. I love you guys either way, but make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, the like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for anytime new videos do surface from Real Life Trading, which I feel like is almost like daily. So be prepared. Give it some time. Give it some time. The market is jumping. We do have CPI came out 8:30, about 33 minutes ago, but who's counting to the minute? It was the headline. It was interesting. I don't think we're out of the woods yet. I don't think they're gonna put this on the headlines yet. As far as like news media, it's gonna come across. Everyone's bullish. Don't worry, nothing to fear here, nothing to see. It's all bullish. There is one piece of lurking data in there that is not exactly crazy bullish yet, but the main CPI did come in lighter than expected. So like I said, all headlines, especially after the reaction, it's weird how like CNBC just tells you what happened after it happens. They don't tell you like how to kind of set up or what to look for, or is it all good, rosy and peachy? But the headlines came in light. That's probably what they're going to report. They're going to run with that for a good, definitely a little bit of time. Core CPI came in at 5.5. If you guys go back the last 2 to 3 CPI reports, they were also 5.5. So we haven't really budged with core CPI. We haven't gone up, but that's where I would start to worry a little bit. So there's still a little bit of like inflation. I don't know. It could start peeking its ugly head again, but at this time, it is not. It is flat. And the main headlines is positive, coming in pretty light on the actual CPI. So that being said, we have to go bullish. I mean, I think for the most part, we were all pretty bullish ahead of time. I mean, the markets are giving us decent signs that we probably do continue up higher. Right now on the SPY, we are a 414.20. You guys all know my numbers, 413.56. So we are above that. We could look at some individual VPOCs for day trade purpose. So the first one, we're at it right now. We'll have to see how this one plays out, but it's in terms of where we're actually opening. But that's somewhere right around 414.28. We're at 414.26. So we dipped 2 pennies since I started looking at it. The next little spot will be 414.71 and 416.08. All valid, all good. I do think we probably get ourselves back to this 418.31. That would be our second time hitting it. That means that there's probably a little bit less resistance up there at this point. And maybe we kind of stutter step around a little bit until we actually break, but I do think that 431.82 looks pretty solid. What I will also say is I don't necessarily know that's where we come to a stop and the entire market crashes. I actually would probably put some bigger targets on this market, but I think the first stop of like almost this bigger resistance, so you can see over here. Same thing, we hit that 418.31. We actually hit that one to the penny. I was pretty shocked. And then we had a big rotation down. The world's ending again, and we just kind of rallied back up. I think that looks similar to what's going to happen once we hit that 431.18. So for right now, that's my target. but I don't know that that's end of the world target yet. And if you do look, we already kind of hit that back here too. So this would also be the second time hitting that, and maybe we could see something push a little bit higher, 438.51. And then I do have a bigger target, and I know I feel like I'm going like massive bull here, but I mean, I don't want to fight the trend. That would be my biggest one. So 438.91, and then we'd have to probably draw some new ones out, but that would be about 451. Could we get back to like a 457? In these markets, why not? In fact, we probably need a couple more banks to go under. We probably need inflation to just keep rising, and we'll still probably hit those numbers. That's just what happens. I don't know. But for right now, you have the short term, 418.31 is my target. Could pull back a little bit. So what I want to see is a slight little pullback at open today. Kind of come back down, retest that 413.59, and that would be my, or 56. That would be my sign. If we could hold that level, all right, that's a good sign for me to kind of build my case to go long at that point. I think I have decent risk reward at that price point. Let's check the Qs real quick. Harold says thoughts on Airbnb. We'll definitely get to that as well. We got Qs. So Qs, nice little gap above everything. Qs, I mean, this should be breaking news. Qs are strong. We've only seen that forever. But yep, Qs are definitely strong. And again, we'll also take a look at like Nvidia. We'll take a look at AMD, Apple, all those lovely tickers. But keep in mind some of the ones that, if the case is right, and this is why CPI was so important. The case is that we are pricing in rate cuts this year. As of now, and that's where that core CPI not coming down, that's staying at 5.5. If you're Jerome Powell, especially if the market's going up higher, and that core CPI is not coming down, do you really want to start lowering the rates and potentially start moving that thing a little bit higher? Good morning, Deepak. I would say probably not, but the market is kind of pricing it in. That's why if this number missed on the main headline, we would not be so, but we would be showing some videos of some bears just taking over Godzilla, because that would say, okay, inflation's coming back, core's holding, the headlines are positive, but the biggest thing going forward is that we are pricing in currently to reduce rates this year. I don't know. So that core CPI is going to be huge. Godzilla would totally kick the bear's butt. Depends, though. Depends. Because in real life, if you compare a lizard to a bear, the lizard's huge. So yeah, obviously Godzilla's massively inflated, but if they're on the same medication, that bear's going to be triple the size of Godzilla. So I don't know. I think the bear would still probably hold a good little fight. We will see. But actually, we'll probably never see that, to be honest. So, but yeah, nice little gap up again. It is a gap and go, but maybe a little pullback first. Let some people that played into the CPI today take their profits. So, there was some degenerates going, I'm going to go puts, I'm going to go shorts, and some people might want to take some profits, close out some positions. We will see. Bear, Godzilla TikTok. We will see. But yeah, everything looks good. Let's get into Airbnb. So they were down. Let's see if they recovered at all. They did. 107 is a really, really good support for Airbnb. Right there at 107. We hit that pre-market. We got down to, right. We had one little dip. We could probably even go extended hours on this one. We got down to that 107 zone and fiercely kind of came back. So I don't think the earnings were that bad, to be honest. I don't think they were that bad. The question is the valuation. I still think maybe valuation, and I own Airbnb. I like Airbnb a lot. The initial valuation, the pump that we had in, what was it, 2020, 2021, whatever it was. Yeah, it was a little overinflated at that point, and we're just trying to figure out what the actual value is. I think the value could still be a little bit lower. They're still growing as a company in general, but I do like Airbnb a lot. I will be looking to add more shares, but even as a day trade, that 107 is going to be a good spot either to buy or throw some stops below it if you get a good size trade on. But this thing I think is a buy the dip opportunity on Airbnb, at least for today. Then we go forward. PayPal was a little bit different in terms of earnings. So I do have like PayPal. A lot of these things on these big dips have been bought up. So we are definitely watching Airbnb very, very closely today for day trade. PayPal did not get bought up, right? And that's why I bring that one up. The earnings were a little bit different there. Plus, the outlook wasn't as great. Airbnb, like I said, I don't think the earnings were actually that bad. I think that might be a bit overreaction on the sell-off, and we'll see. But yep, I want this thing I would love this thing to hit $80 a share or something under 100. That would make me so happy. But we'll see. We'll see. Let's see what else you guys got. Apple. Apple does nothing but go up. Well, there. Look at that. My trading view comes pre-built in with trades. That's awesome. Yeah, we're almost at target on that too. All right. So yeah, just massive. Oh, well, if we didn't get stopped out first, we'll see. But yep. So the only thing with Apple, I think it goes higher. I mean, I think it does. Question is, on a day trade basis, there seems to be a decent looking resistance somewhere around. I want to put it at 173.46. We're very close to it. Next one up is 173.51. So there's two VPOCs right there. It could cause a little bit of resistance. And then we have probably 173.64. So this is a test into it. I would want to see if I have to go bullish on this thing. I think there's better opportunities, but I think if I was to go bullish, I'd have to get above some of these numbers, especially give me something almost break, hold, retest 173.67-ish or 65-ish. Because we are at a little bit of resistance. And all of this, even the last 2 days, that's all inside that one big massive candle. So sentiment on this candle is bullish, right? Obviously, big gap up, great looking gap and go. Was it a gap and go or retest? Technically a retest gap, but above major pivot, right? Yeah, I think we go higher. I think we go higher. Question is when, how, and why, right? So CPI couldn't get us there yet. I don't want to go short Apple. It is a gap and go for today. But again, sentiment's more so in this candle than it is in this resting candle. There was some profits. It is a gap and go. That should light the fires a little bit of the engines to maybe give it enough momentum. But out of every stock in the world, I think there's some that have better opportunities, at least to focus on for day trades. So I probably won't be focusing too much unless it pulls back. We could get a good setup. Probably leaning somewhere around 172.23. That would be decent, and then that would be probably the spot I'd want to go long on. Lauren says EA. Wendy wants Tesla and the vids. All right, we got 130. Yeah, that's a really good gap too. Mm-hmm. They're up to one. They're at 130. Yikes. This one could be probably played bullish. You don't really have too much in a little bit longer time frame. You don't have too much until like 134.76. Day trade wise, I don't know if that one hits there today. Obviously, the recent trend is bullish. We did have a little bit of a slight sell-off, aka profit taking. We're above some key numbers as far as 128.70. That would be my key level of volume. I would have to be a little concerned getting up into this region. So somewhere around, and I think this is probably where we head today, 130, 151. So it gives you about $1.51. If this market goes absolutely crazy, which it is, maybe we can break through that and could get to that 134 zone, 135 today. But we have to get through this little double top. There's going to be some kind of resistance up there. So maybe it's definitely bullish. I'd rather it come back. I don't know if it does, but I'd rather this thing come back, buy the dip on it, and then I think you have at least much better risk to reward. But it is a pretty cute little gap, to say the least. All right, let's take a look at Tesla. It's electric. Maybe. We got rejected at that trend line previously. So that was our open. We faded. Technically, it's a retest gap as well. So I don't want to be the first one buying it. If this thing was gapping up a little bit higher, so if this thing gaps up 174.04, somewhere in that zone, I think that could give us a bigger push, at least into about 179. But just that we're inside there, I don't know how we're going to react over this. So maybe the upside might be a little limited. Can I go short? I can't really go short either on this one. 170, 155 is my first little, what do we do at that spot? Is that going to be support? Is that going to be resist? Like, do we just cut it like butter? And then we get down to like 170. So I don't really know what to do here. I don't think we have great risk to reward on either direction on Tesla today. And you could flip a coin. I've done it. I've flipped coins before. So you can flip a coin and go, hey, I like this thing bullish, bearish. If I had to guess, I mean, the rest of the market's bullish, but I'd want that pullback first. So probably lean slightly bullish. The question is it going to break any of those key previous spots that we've had? If you think it can, then you have a great trade on your hands and probably most likely bullish direction. But again, if it pulls back first, kudos, even better. All right, you got NVIDIA. Again, NVIDIA, I don't know up here. I do have targets of 299.34. If it makes it there today, great. This is a gap and go. So I do like NVIDIA a little bit better than Tesla. We at least are clearing anybody that decided to short yesterday. But again, targets on this one, at least the first original target would be 291.68. I'm actually gonna put NVIDIA up a little bit higher on the list. So my first target, which would not do too great for us, is 291.68. If that breaks, I like 299 a lot. And that would be a really nice trade. The question is, can that beat if the market, if we are going to see 418 today, and again, that's a tall, that's tough. It's tough. But if we can see us getting in the direction of 418 on the SPY, then I think we have a really good shot at NVIDIA 299 potentially today, if we could break that one little spot. So I'd rather trade NVIDIA over Tesla. Famous last words. But I think I'd rather be in that camp and try to see if we can get past it. Again, there could be some better gaps out there still. So we got Twilio. Yep, this one's going to look different than the market. Roblox Meta. Twilio, this is a gap and go. However, we are at some kind of support that has to be saved. Bulls have to come in here. If we don't see the bulls come in here, then you might as well put an order out for like $18 a share because there's nothing else supporting this thing up. But yes, I would look probably for a fade on this one. And it would have a decent amount of room to run higher. Let me see earnings. Right after we get this to the top of the list. There we go. So they had a surprise beat on earnings per share and on revenue. So they beat on both directions and got clobbered. If that doesn't tell you the valuation is incorrect on Twilio, I don't know what does. But yeah, it didn't seem like earnings were that bad. Maybe outlook not so good. I think he gets bought up. Joe says ARK. I think that is where I want to head because I think that's going to be interesting. I think, even though, I mean, you guys know I'm a huge fan of Cathie Wood. She's phenomenal, just incredible investor. Has no idea about valuations. I'm not even sure how she got into the business. People keep giving her money to invest, though. If that doesn't impress you by itself, I don't know what else does. But the interesting thing in ARK, Rick says I'm also a fan. Interesting is some of her holdings. So she's got these stocks are changing the world, yada, yada, whatever. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Right. And then it's always a 5-year plan from whatever date she gets asked. But there's a little bit of life. So today, ARKK, I don't think, I don't know. This one could be tradable today, but we have to get a little bit more work done first. Like 39, 31 is going to be some resistance, and we're just kind of into this resistance spot now a little bit. So see if we get this pullback. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 days of buying in a row. See if we get a pullback. And then, yeah, I think the current market, because a lot of her companies, she's got a lot of tech companies. A lot of them don't make any money. A lot of them might be a little bit to the newer side. And if the market is pricing in that rate cuts are in the near future, companies that need to borrow money for as little as possible are going to benefit. And I think some of those companies in ARKK. So I do think as a fund, you might start to see at least a little anticipation, a little bounce. But at open, I think, and you do have a little bit of inverted head and shoulders as well. Here's probably your downtrend, though. Something like this, and we're kind of sitting right at it. Let this thing pull back first if it could, or either let it pull back or let it break and then pull back. One of those two options. But yeah, that's on my list as well. We got 4 minutes and 55 seconds, and I didn't get to nothing yet. Meta. So I like the fact that we are above. It's not quite tweezers, but almost. We're kind of at the high of yesterday. We do have 236. 236.90 is probably our little bit of first resistance. The next one up is going to be 238. This could definitely look in the future like a little bit of an S-curve. That is a really, really good gap. So good gap, obviously bullish, pullback, tech strong, gapping up $3, essentially slightly under. So again, let's see if this thing can pull back, but I don't mind Meta for a trade if it pulls back. If it just wants to shoot out of the gate and run without me, that's fine too. I don't need to play it, but it's not bad. RBLX. Potentially my favorite of the day. We're gonna try to go for another 3R, maybe. I don't think I want to take this one out of the gate. It's a good gap, technically a little bit of a retest. See if we can get some kind of a pullback. And then I think long is the direction, but let's see if we get this pullback first, and then we're going to go long on that. I like it though. Roblo. We got Nike. Somebody says Amazon too. Yep. So without even looking at Amazon, I like it bullish. But we will try to look at that too. So Nike. I believe we're looking at this one in a swing room. Decent. Just it is in this sideways chop though. So good gap and go. It's got some resistance. We've been trading sideways, so we haven't really broken out yet. So for Nike, I think still sell the rips, buy the dips. We're not really trending any news, any direction. Rock says breaking news. DJ loves Roblox. I'm starting to warm up to it. That I'll say that, you know. It's showing me a little bit of signs of life. It's not like DraftKings love though. You know what I'm saying? It's a little different. It's like a different type of love. You know, I'm not interested in marrying Roblox, but I'll date around. I'll date around. All right, we got Toast. This should be a little bit of resistance here. Look for that pullback first. So this is something you might be able to fade. You're going to get about 75 cents to the downside. If you want to take that shot, you're going to have some moving averages that could hold you up around $20. That will stunt your trade a little bit, but it is a good gap. Lots of buying first into slight little resistance. See if you get a pullback. So far, a lot of these things are pullbacks. Let me go to that Amazon real quick. I got a minute left. Amazon on the daily, I like. I do like it on the daily. And this one might actually be a really, really nice trade for a day trade too. Again, 1, 2, 3 days of buying, gap up. It's probably some profit taking. First stop that I'd be interested in is 107.61 on a small little pullback. If we could pull back a little bit further, the next spot becomes 107.14. And then if we really want to do a full retest, 106.46. Basically, I think for the most part, we have to be a little patient at open. I only got 27 seconds left. But there seems to be, even with this really, really nice gap, I think bullish is the direction. Bear trades are going, I think, to be difficult today. We will see, but I will be very interested in buying dips. And I think for the next 4 weeks out, until we hear Jerome Powell again, I think that's going to be the case. CPI didn't change the direction of the market. So stay long, and I think that is your best bet. Everybody out there in YouTube land, if you have not already, hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Be alert on all of the new videos that we are releasing. And you'll be like the first to know if you got that notification bell.